Welcome back to the show, everybody. We live.
Tonight on Underneath the City Lights with Eddie Dynamite, we have author and metaphysicist Mr. Johnny Richey returning for part 2 of his web series, Creation of the Creator. So sit back, relax, and catch a contact of this info.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are here and live on Underneath the City Lights with Eddie Dynamite. I'm your boy, Eddie Dynamite. You know what I'm saying? We about to get this thing in again. You see, we got Mr. Johnny back with us with part 2 of the creation of the creator. We're going to get down, deep, and dirty tonight. It's getting heavy. So I hope y'all ready. You see, I got the 42 laws behind me. You know what I'm saying? So we getting deep tonight. This thing going down. You know what I'm saying? Um, that song that you heard in the background, that was my dog Brizzy. Tell them what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Y'all check that out. You know what I mean? I'll have more little details for that in the header underneath the video. But hey, so no longer do. Mr. Johnny, welcome back to the show. How you doing?
I'm blessed, my brother. How you?
Man, I'm
I'm
wonderful,
here.
Mr. Johnny.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I'm glad
Yeah.
you got me on so I can break down the creation of the creator, man. And see, can we wake some of these people up, man, that has been stuck basically in a time warp,
Yes,
and this
sir.
is from superstitions. And just want to read something real quick to you. The superstitions stuck in a time war. You got the Christians, the Jewish people, the Islamic, the Hindus, and many other religions, institutions have felt to kept up with the path of time. Okay, this is called basically a DA destruction or DA distortion.
Mm-hmm.
And the superstitious beliefs, has been handed down from generation to generation, bro. So they got
Right,
our
right,
people really stuck in this time warp. And some of the beliefs are that this earth is only 6,000 years old because their God created it. And that's actually Judaism, Christianity, and Islam who believe this, that the earth is only 6,000
right,
years old. And,
right. Most definitely.
the time warp basically got them mentally and spiritually captured, and they cut off from the reality, from the ancestors and from the conscious universe, which gives us the awareness of self. I just
Right,
wanted to say
right.
that.
Most
And
definitely. Hey,
so,
that's heavy. That's deep. That's deep. That's deep.
yeah.
Because
And
superstition and tradition, just like you just said, those things are rooted in our family. So, sometimes it's hard to pull away from the type of things that we believe. And that's specifically what this particular web series, what we're talking about is about. You know what I'm saying? Just opening up that circumference of your thinking. Like I said in the last video, in the words of Dr. Ray Hagan, sometimes this is the circumference of our thinking, this little circle, and everything else around it is things that we don't know or things that we never heard, and we're scared to open up that circle and just get a little more information in. Even
he called
even
it,
with
yeah, he
go ahead,
called it
Mr. Go ahead, Mr. Johnson.
psychosis.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's
He
exactly what it
he
is.
said it was
Psychosis.
psychosis and out of touch with reality.
Right.
And
Right.
what I'm coming to realize, man, just writing this book, I get a lot of new thoughts and things that I
Hmm.
haven't covered. And I was reading William Copper, "Behold a Pale Horse,"
Right.
and
Right.
I listened to him, and I have read some of the book, and he breaks down a lot of stuff. They killed him for the information that he put out,
Yeah. Most
and
definitely. Yes,
so
they did.
yeah, and so as I'm editing my book, I'm still adding stuff in on it, and trying to see how to reach the audience, just wake them up, man, to a real reality of this superstitious fiction of the pie in the sky. That's what I call it.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
it's going to be difficult, and I say that because it's in the DNA, bro.
Yes, sir.
and
Yes, sir.
they have corrupted the DNA. They have distorted it. So when you're dealing with the epigenetics of our people, and I always got to say, the black people here in America, how they were tricked and usurped. It's difficult, and I've talked to a lot of brothers, that I grew up with, and they always tell me, "Let me find out that you really don't believe in God." And it kind of angers them because I did a Bible study with them. And doing that Bible study, before I even started on the creation of the creator, I tried to say, come on, man, this is not what it's saying in the book. But we can't alter the word of God. And I mean, I had it was about 13 of us, and I had at least 9 against me.
Right.
3 wanted
Right.
to listen, 4 wanted to listen. But the other one is just stuck, man. They stuck in this time warp.
Most definitely.
And
Most definitely.
it was very painful to see some of the uh, it's just ugly
Right.
that they won't grow.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I can definitely see that. So going from here from there, what tell us give us a little bit of what you're gonna break down for us tonight.
Well, what I want to do, I broke down some of the particles of the universe on what some of the scientists is saying how the universe was made 13 billion years ago, which I know and I think, in my opinion, it's trillions of years old.
Of course.
That's
Of
my
course.
opinion.
Right.
Um,
Right.
when you're dealing with um, uh, the Europeans only been here for a little over 4,000 years. When you see that video and go in that video and you start looking at that video, he break down how this mind operates,
Right.
this
Right.
European mind. And even the scientists and the doctors and the lawyers and the judges don't know they sick.
Right. Right. Right.
And then I do believe that's a statement, but I believe that they do know.
Right.
And they know it's not much they can do about it until they do the right thing. What is the right thing that I'm talking about? I'm talking about go through their meditation and ask
Right.
themselves for forgiveness, ask the universe for forgiveness, and move on past your sickness.
Right.
Because when
Right.
you look at what the
Right.
Ice Age did to the earth, you can really see the minerals uh, that the ice age destroyed, and the foods that they were eating had a lot to do with, especially the pineal gland, which is only what 20 so 30% active in the
So
European,
so
and that
so so coming
gives
from
you
so
spirituality.
so not to interrupt you, just coming
Uh-huh.
from that, I didn't want you to go too far because I want to start right
Okay.
there because that's very, very important. Um, you're talking about the creation of the pineal gland, basically the creation of I guess you would say um civilized man or man coming into being. When do you think, in your personal opinion, what was the first give the people what was the first real religion, the first thing that was really worshipped about here by
It wasn't even called
the
religion.
majority of people.
It wasn't called religion. It was spirituality. It was just
Right.
a way of life. See, they say Islam is the way of life. They say that Judaism is the way of life.
Right.
Christianity is your personal relationship with God, which is a way of life. But see, they
Hmm.
put a physical and took the spiritual out.
Right.
And that
Right.
physical thing they put there was a man in the sky in a white robe, and he was
Yeah.
European. Or
Hmm.
they put Sheba there, who looked like a woman and a man mixed. These
Hmm.
types of uh, entities that they want to explain to you to substitute the spirituality that our people.
Mhm.
went through. They did not do no worshiping and nothing. They knew who they were. They knew
Right.
that they were the gods and the goddesses.
Mhm.
They
Mhm.
had reverence for one another.
Right.
They saw themselves in one another.
Right.
Um, I don't care how far you go back, as long as you go back before this religious saga started,
Right.
you'll
Exactly.
find
Exactly.
that people back there in Asia and in on the continent of Africa, uh, basically millions of years ago, these people didn't. Religion didn't even exist. They don't have no idea what that word means.
Right.
It's a
Right.
made up concept. It's a controlling mechanism
Mm.
to take the spirit out of you,
Right. Right.
to decalcify your pineal gland. Just like I said earlier, superstition, this generational curse that they put on our ancestors, that they call religion, has been handed down for so long to where our people are stuck, like I said, in a time warp.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Their DNA cannot function properly because they disconnected him from the ancestors and from the conscious universe, which is the awareness of self. That's what makes us aware of who we are, is our ancestors and the universe. Our pineal gland is the direct connection to the universe. When you close your eyes in darkness, that's what you're in the universe.
Right.
That's where we're at. That's where we're from.
Right.
That's what we are a part of.
I read a study. This probably was maybe like a few weeks ago, talking about how the dark matter in the universe and all that type of thing is connected to our melanin. How true is that? Have you ever heard any of that
Yes,
claim?
I have heard of the carbon, uh, and that the 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 hundred thousands of years of that conscious mind that it took to become physiology, which is us.
Mm.
I heard about. I never really got into it. I think the brother Rashad,
Hmm.
he spoke on a little bit of that, on how actually it's DEA. Don't ask me to give you the professional term of it, but it's not the police. It has nothing to do with them.
Right. Right.
It's dioxide something. I don't want to butcher it, so I'm
Mm.
gonna leave that alone. But it's supposed to be deeper than melanin, and
Mm.
anything that goes deeper than melanin, the carbon that makes up the universe and the melanin, the universe is basically 80%, 90% melanin
Right.
and carbon.
Right.
You know, when you look at all the darkness and stuff like that, you're looking at melanin, you're looking at carbon. That's
Right.
where we came out of. That is the real womb
Yeah. Most definitely.
of
Most
our
definitely.
existence.
Mm.
Yes.
Mm. So Mr. Johnny, saying that, take us to ancient. I guess we can start in Samaria, Mesopotamia, Acadia. Take us to the gods of Samaria and the religion of that era. The let's just say the spirituality worship that the people had at that time, because that's one of the first civilizations. So can you
Well,
take us there and break it down for us?
yeah, these were physical beings that came from what they called the planet Nibiru or Nibiru. These beings, Zachariah Stitches wrote a book. I don't agree with everything he said, but I like uh, uh, some of the knowledge that he's given Of course, he was under control by the powers that be. He can only tell you so much, but doing Mesopotamian up there through Sumerian, Akkadian, uh, that's where they landed basically and spread it out when they came for gold. And they were
Mm.
called Anunnakis. Now, Anunnakis is just not one race. Anunnaki is many, many races, just like humans are many different nationalities and ethnic groups.
So where did
Uh,
these so where did these particular Anunnaki that you're talking about that came here? Where did they come from? What part of the solar system did they come from?
well, it's called Nibiru.
Nibiru,
Um,
Nibiru. Okay.
right now, NASA call it the 12th planet or Planet X.
Mm.
And
Mm.
so they had issues with their ozone layer. They were very technical people. They were like hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of years beyond our technology.
Mm.
We're like children as far
Wow.
as their technology. And they had to save their planet. So there was a little war going on up there. That's the war in heaven. That's in your Bible, in the Quran, and in the Torah, um, for the kingship. Alua, he was first king, and Anut was basically his cupbearer. But Anut fought him for the throne because he thought that his ancestral inheritance was more potent than Alua.
Mm.
And so during that time, they still trying to save their planet. So they needed gold, tons and tons of gold to grind it up, to shoot it in the atmosphere that it will seal these cracks from this ozone layer or whatever. I don't know if that's what they called it during that time, the ozone layer. But anyway, they had a lot of volcano eruptions, a lot of winds that was gushing. I mean, their weather was just off the chain.
Mm.
And after Aloha, he was the first one to come down because he was afraid after Newt beated him and became king, like, hey, this dude gonna kill me. So I
Right.
got to
Right.
get up out of here. So he stole one of the ships. And the hammer bracelet coming to Earth was so scary because they tried to get here before. And some of the other Anunnakis, and they all fail, 50, 60, maybe hundreds of them. But Alua, he had to go, so he had no choice. He was dead. That's what he thought if he stayed on the brew because Newt had took over as king, and he thought he was going to die. Newt would treat him very harshly. So he got up out of there and he made it to Earth. He was one of the first Anunnakis on Earth, not the first android, or not the first, I guess I would call a hominoid, but one
Mm-hmm.
of the first Anunnakis in that from the brewer that comes
To
down to
actually
Earth.
touch down to
The,
Earth. Okay.
that
Right.
actually
Right.
touched down to Earth. So then he sent word that he know where the goal is because they had sophisticated machines on their ships. So he found out what a goal was and stuff. But of course, when Enki came, Anub's oldest son, he had two older sons, Enki and Enlil.
Mm-hmm.
Enki came first with 50 and gave everybody, appointed everybody a job, got a hold to Aloha and asked him where it was, and they found gold, they found other metals, but they couldn't find enough. And then they had to figure it out. And Enki was the one that figured it out. He said uh, that Earth has a vein what
Mm.
this gold was. And so they went out searching for the vein and they found it in Africa.
Okay.
Now, remember, all of this is on the continent of Africa. They just wasn't in the right place. Like I think Sumerian right now is Iraq.
Mm.
I'm up through there, Iran. And don't forget that Acadia is just right close to it. And
So basically, what you're telling us, we talking about black people,
these people were black. They had to be here. They had to be melanin people,
right?
even Anunnakis. But some of
Mm,
them were different shades. They looked like albinos, but some of them were just like humans. Man, they were light skinned, dark skinned. Um, some looked white, but
right,
they were Anunnakis. They were from the planet Nabru, which has a lot of different species up there besides uh, the humanoid looking people.
right.
They have different species. Reptilians live up there on all that. So
Okay.
you have different
So
types of beings.
right. So once these Anunnaki has touched the earth, like you said, they came down and they got in contact with these humans that were already here. I guess these humanoid people that are already on the planet.
Hmm.
What was the process of turning them into workers to mine this gold? What was that process?
Well, the process was to give them some of their DNA because back then, supposedly that the Homo erectus and the Homo sapien, I think those were the ones that they really kind of tampered with. The Homo erectus, I think that was one of the first ones because that was more of what they you can't believe nothing they say. But when
Right,
you go back in history, the only history that you can get is what they give you.
right,
This is
right.
European,
Mhm.
and supposedly the Homo erectus wasn't that particular coordinated,
Right, right,
so
right.
they needed his.
You mean in the Homo erectus?
Yeah, the
Okay,
Homo erectus wasn't
okay,
the Homo sapien. I think may have been evolved also, but my opinion was the Homo erectus and the Homo sapien before the Homo erectus died out. The Homo sapien and the Homo erectus had made it. So they
mm,
did. They had made it, and though I think those were the ones that they did the DNA tampering and did the gene slicing and all of that to bring him up to speed to where that he can work in the mines and uh, basically taught him how to eat with knives and forks and all that stuff and how to drink out of glasses because they were, if you notice, some of the species back then were drinking like animals. They didn't use their hands like this. They
right,
just sucked the water up. So, I'm being opinionated on this. That's my opinion. Like I say, all the back history that we get is from the Europeans, and they lie so much. You have to, it's just like a honey going to flower to flower. You have to, if you land on the flower that ain't got no nectar in it, then you go to the next one.
go to the next
That's what honeybees do. This is what we have to do,
one. Mm,
as spiritual beings. That don't sound right. Something wrong with that. So
mhm,
I'm gonna bypass that. Now this makes more sense. That's how I learned on how to deal with this European's history.
right.
That's
Okay,
why when
so
I said, go ahead.
I wasn't. Go ahead, finish your thought.
And dealing with the Europeans' history in that manner, I found it very useful to take what they say with a real with a literally with a grain of sand, bro.
Right, right, right.
Yeah, literally.
Literally, literally.
Can't believe nothing they say, bro.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So let me ask you. So once the Anunnaki came down, like you said, they've spliced this man, this humanoid or this Homo erectus, or who was here, Homo sapien, whoever was here.
Hmm.
What were they successful with the goal, with the process of getting them to
They had a
mine the
lot of
gold?
failures. When you read the book or read the story, they had a lot of failures. What made them so successful? Ninanajiza, which was who they called Thor, the Emerald Tablets of Thor.
Mm-hmm.
That was Enki's son, and he
Mm,
was one of the best scientists that was taught by his father, Enki.
mm,
And he figured it out. Him and I want to say Inanna, but Inanna is the son, is the daughter. But Enki's wife, and her name is right on the tip of my tongue. Before the show is over, I have it.
right.
She was also a geneticist, and
Mm-hmm.
so they got together, and she said, "Well, this is not working. This lab baby, test tube baby. That's what they're doing today."
Mm-hmm.
She said, "We're gonna have to put these in the goddesses and let them carry the baby."
Mm,
And it was a couple of defects then,
right.
imperfections, and then Ninalajiza, Thor, he is the one that figured it out and brought it to Enki's wife, the name I forgot, and said, "Let's the women." So they choose 7 women to carry these babies, and all of them came out just the way we are today.
Mm,
Good workers.
oh,
Basically, it what they induced their bloodline in us actually for slaves.
mm,
Yeah, to work because them gods rebelled, and that's what one of the other wars was about that came
right.
from heaven.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You told me before you came that you got some material you're gonna upload for us and let us check out.
Yeah, I wanted to go through some of my book
Okay. Okay.
so
Okay.
that we can get something kind of solid on how I would approach the awakening of the consciousness of the religious people.
Okay.
You see it now up there?
Yeah. 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 You up, Mr. Johnny? I got
Okay, and that's it's called the creation of the creator. And
you.
what I done was I put 300 some pages together. This is not the original book that I actually wanted to use, but I know my book and I know kind of where to start. And uh, it's been some issues trying to get my other book up. I
Right.
start
Right.
off with the introduction, and I just basically explained to them that most of the material coming out of this book is from my ideas that has been taken from other writers that I've read, but I had like I was telling you about, you can't believe nothing they say. They break down how the universe was created, and all of that, and I disagree with a lot of the stuff that they were saying on that, and I go back into the creation of the creator right here, as you can see. And I break down where God actually was born because I asked a lot of questions in this particular book. They say, well, God can do anything. And that's how they would answer about 10 or 15 of my questions that I've asked. Um, how can anything exists outside of a universe? There is no such thing as existence outside of the universe except for what they call a city.
Right.
That's outside of the universe. And if anybody ever go there, it's almost like they don't exist. And they really don't exist because you're not inside of an existence.
Mm,
So I say, well, if that's the case, then how do you know about a city outside of the universe that exists? Who went there to see it?
right. Right.
If
Right.
there's no existence, how can God create something that he was born out of. How can you make a universe outside of its living self? Those are some of the questions that I was asking. Uh, and then from there, I go on um, to the 10 major religions after I break some of that down. But before I kind of jump the gun, but I give them another different story of the flower life that Terrence Howard speaks on that I'm feeling that people kind of need to get into. Listen to
Yeah,
this
yeah,
brother
yeah,
Terrence
yeah. Give me
Howard.
some more about give me some more about that flower of life. I know you mentioned that to me before. I wasn't able to catch that interview with him. Can
Uh
you elaborate more on that? I want to hear
yeah,
more about that.
okay, the flower life, which is right here, it's 62 uh circles within a circle that
Hmm.
makes up the flower life. So I kind of did it one. I showed you the real one, the Tufu doll, the Tufu dog in China. It's under his foot. Also in the Temple of Orion, I mean the Temple of Osiris. It was basically burned on the wall to show you the technology that they had back then. Like
Right, right.
they don't even know. They don't even know how they did it. Uh, and this flower life is another way to look at the construction and the making of the universe.
Mm,
So I go down and I do all of the flower life and give them another way to look at. Uh, hey, this is a possibility on how the universe was also created.
mhm.
Um, and so this is deep, and what this is telling you is this Einstein thing, relativity, and uh, Newton, and all of these different scientists. I already told you that they sick anyway, and then it's just like a person with the flu trying to be your doctor. You feel what I'm
Mm,
saying? He gonna
right,
give you the flu,
right,
and so
right,
this is the same type of with knowledge. A person that's ill trying to give another person that is not ill knowledge, he's going to make them sick or make her sick.
right.
So that's why I deal with both of these because it gives them a choice to either you can believe this way, you can believe this way, and neither one of them might be 100% correct. But
Right.
it's just like taking everything with a grain of sand, like I say. But
So
I
let
do
so let me
agree.
so let me ask you a question. That flower of life, where did that come from? Who came up with that equation?
The flower life, like I say, it's in a lot of temples. One of the main temples they found it in is the temple of Osiris, and in
Mm-hmm.
China, under the feet of the Fufu dog.
Mm,
You
mm,
they can go they can look it up and they'll see it. He's holding it in China. It's on the
right,
wall in Osiris temple.
right,
Um, it's a lot of information. And here's another look at the flower life. As you know, they're adding to it. And this indicates certain things. They have to read it themselves because I don't want to blow it up to where they can't see
right.
what we're doing here.
Okay.
And then you go to the next one, Leonardo da Vinci. He did one with,
Mm,
I'll show you his. Here's another one. And you see what a star and crescent came out of and all of that, bro.
mm,
Yeah, that's the Jewish star right there. That's where it comes from. It comes from the flower of life. They ain't gonna tell you that.
right.
And then right here, here's Da Vinci's on what he thought the flower of life meant to him. It
Mm,
was the human structure. He got
mm.
that out of it. You can see
I've
the
seen that
three
picture before
legs.
too.
Yeah. And so you see the two arms, on each side, and then you see the
Right.
three legs. That's another Hindu symbol
Mm.
on the 5 and 6 arms, which also represent some of the deeper meanings inside of their religion, of course.
Right.
And then I go to the God gene. I break down what I've learned from listening to my brother Billy Carson, and then a little bit of studying on that, on about the telomeres and how
Mm-hmm.
they had tampered with the telomeres because NL, one of the gods, didn't want humans to live too long because we were living 7, 8, 1,000, 1,200 years, that our knowledge would increase. And if we pass that down genetically, he couldn't control us,
Right.
or we
Right.
couldn't be controlled by no other species. So they had to
Mm.
tamper with our genes and put what they call a God gene in there to worship, and they wanted to be worshipped. That's where all the worshiping started in Mesopotamian, Akkadian, Sumerian. These gods, after they lied to the humans that they had tampered with their DNA, they wanted to be above them and wanted them to remain workers. So back then, they thought that they were gods.
Right.
You
Right.
know, our ancestors thought these were gods because of
Wow.
their technology was so advanced.
Mm.
And then I
That's
go
deep.
through there's another one of Leonardo da Vinci. Now it's going backwards. I don't understand. Okay, here. Let's do it like this. Sorry about that.
You good. You good. Hey, we here for the information, Mr. Johnny.
Yeah.
We ain't going. We
Uh
ain't going nowhere, man.
yeah. And then I go and this is some of the information on the DNA, how they tampered with the God gene. Supposedly, they know that it happened 200,000 years ago or better. Some of this information is very pertinent to a person that want to study on this God gene. So I advise them to look it up. And you get arguments from the Catholic Church, of course,
Right. Right.
saying that, well, why would our father do that? And why would he give us make us worship him if we have free will? Well, hell, if we had free will, then why in the Bible do you say go kill this particular tribe because they don't worship me? It's all
Mm.
it's all through the Bible,
Right.
and that's what your religion, holy wars are about.
Mm-hmm.
Because other people decide to worship this God and that God and not your God. And I
Right.
speaks on the holy wars, which don't give people free will. So it's no such thing as free will. Either you worship me or you die.
Right.
That's not free will.
That's not free will. Right.
So that's I covered that also, and I do my quotes in here. Um, then I start off basically with the Hindu religion because this is one of the oldest religions um, that's on earth.
Take us
I
there.
said
Tell us
I
about it.
said religion, not spiritual teaching.
Right. Correct. Correct.
Yeah. And then you got Veda here,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got Shiva. Uh, uh, he's the destroyer. Shiva's the destroyer. This one here, he's the sustainer, and the creator is Bahama.
Mm.
So his picture didn't come up. That's what I was saying, that this is the wrong one. But I
Right.
know their names,
Of
and I
course.
can get past that. And
Right. Of course.
then breaks down some of the Hindu religions right here. That's Hare Krishna.
Mm-hmm.
He's an offset of Hinduism. And,
Mm.
he's another one that one of the generals, which was called Arjuna. That's in the Bhagavad Visa, that book. On how the cousins was fighting each other, and they wanted to know, hey, this is blood, like the Civil War that we had. South's
Mm-hmm.
fighting uh, the North, and
The
they
North.
wanted. Well, we're killing our cousins. Some brothers is even over on that side. Same way with these. Same story.
Right.
Same kind of story.
Mm.
And so uh, then I do the 10 major religions, and I explain that on how some of the uh, how the some of the wars took place, and it was one of the most bloodiest, craziest family feud, like a family feud war, bro.
Mm.
This is Krishna looking down at Jesus' ministry as if though a god would do.
Mm.
So that would be Jesus at the bottom and Krishna in that little bubble looking thing, looking down at Jesus' ministry. They even got some pictures of them together. Um, I'm getting to a point with this. I keep going. This is Zoroastrianism and
Mm-hmm.
how they started. The founder of Zoroastrianism. This is the Jewish religion. This is Anana. His name is too holy to pronounce, which is Jehovah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's just really trippy. And you'll find out as I go on how everybody that's Moses.
Mm-hmm.
Um, some say Moses started the Jewish religion. Some say Abraham started the Jewish religion. But we also that Moses was a very important aspect in the three religions: Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, because that's where they get their 10 Commandments, and they turned the 10 Commandments into 360. The Jewish people did.
Right.
Uh, I haven't counted how many Islam got, but I know that the Christian got the 10 Commandments from Moses. So we'll leave it as that with them. This is
Right.
Shamanism. That's
Mm-hmm.
their God. Uh, Let me go here. This is the founder of Confucianism.
Mm.
Yeah, his name was Confusion.
Okay.
So going there, and then I show you also Buddhism. Buddhism don't have a god. It's the way of
Mm.
life. Yeah,
I never knew that. I never knew
I
that at all.
I didn't either until I studied it.
Mm.
But
Mm. Mm.
uh, they
So
don't
who
have a
started? Who
god.
started? Who started? Who started Buddhism? Where did Buddhism come from?
His name, I can look it up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I forget his name. He was like a prince or priest or something like that. He went out. He didn't like what he saw in the city, so he went out to the wilderness for 7 years,
Mm.
and then that's how he became Buddha through
And changed his name
meditation,
to Buddha. Okay.
fasting, and all of
Mm.
that. It's a story behind it. It's a nice little story. I read it.
Right.
It's nice. It's so much information. That's the Dalai Lama.
Mm.
He's another one. He's in the wrong place. He's supposed to have been right behind Hare Krishna. I
Hare
don't know how
Krishna.
he got here. But
What?
anyway, the Dalai Lama is just another Hindu sect just like Catholic, Jehovah Witness, Baptist,
Okay. Okay.
Protestant. It's the
Mm.
same. It's the same thing. The
I've
same
always wondered
thing.
about this Dalai Lama. You know, you see it in shows, cartoons. They always showing this Dalai Lama, and I never knew that. Okay, that's
Well,
another
he's an
just another.
incarnation
Mm.
of the first Dalai Lama,
Right.
and
Okay.
he's the 14th Dalai Lama right here.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So if they live to be 100, you're talking about 1,400 years ago.
Mm. Wow.
Because that's supposed to be the same guy. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Imagine that. Yeah.
Imagine
But
that.
anyway, this is the Chinese folklore. These are their gods. The three
Mm.
main little gods in Chinese is hundreds of them, but I guess these were some of their favorite ones. Um, then you got Toanism. Uh, it's just the list go on and on and on. This is supposed to be the God. This is the house of God, and Bamism or Baism.
Mm.
This their faith. This
What
is
what
where
what
their
what
God.
what's Bayism?
It's another religion, bro. I think it has a lot to do with um, not the Middle East, but like Japan, Chinese, and up through there.
Right.
That's because I kept it going through a sequence to where I try to put every religious like Chinese folklore,
Right.
uh, 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 shamanism, all of them is kind of off branches of Chinese and Japanese religions and stuff like that.
Right. Right.
So then I break down all of these gods of all the planets in our solar system.
Mm.
Uh, the
Give us
Egyptians
some more
even
about
got
that.
uh, well, you got God of Mars. Let me show you a few of them. Some of them will show
Okay.
up. This is the signs of your main religions right here.
Hmm.
You got Islam, Christianity, Baptism, Shamanism, Chinese folklore. All of these are their symbols, and you'll see that some of these are also the Anunnaki symbols too.
Mm. Which
Yeah.
one of them would be the Anunnaki symbols?
Well, I'll show you. I think I got some down the line here.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Okay. I don't want to jump too fast.
Right. Yeah. No
Okay,
jump.
now,
It's fine.
okay, now I go to all the religions that were started by angels.
Mm.
There's so many religions that was started by angels. This is the first one is Islam. The angel Jibril came to him on a flying horse.
Mm.
Barana or something like that, the name of this horse. In
Mm.
Islam is it means horse. So that's how it looked. Then that's what uh Jibril flew from heaven to talk to Prophet Muhammad in the cave. And there they are right there in the cave.
Right.
Prophet
I,
Muhammad kneeling down to the angel.
I sure see it.
So and then you got Joseph Smith.
Hmm.
An angel came to him, Moron. The angel Moron came to him. This is another religion, Mormonism, started by an angel.
Mm.
Then you come to that's Moses receiving the Ten Commandments on the mountain. The angel gave him the Ten Commandments. So that's kind of starting the religion up. You see what I'm saying? So with the Ten Commandments, there's Mary. The angel came to him, which is the angel Gabriel or Gabriel came to Mary. Um, this is another story here. I won't even get into that about the dog-headed Messiah. Um, that's Catholic. That's like in the 14th, 15th century. Um, um, this particular uh, being is dealing with the canine. That's
Mm.
where uh, Nevada can. It's got the word canine in it. You see?
Right.
Yeah. That means tax.
Mm.
Yeah. Taxes. Yeah. TAXS. How they tax your ass. Um, we have here. Okay, let me go here. I'm just going to run through it. Uh, and these are, like I told you, all the religions, and I break down Islam, Christianity, um, like I say, this is not the right book, but I do know my book. I kind of know where I'm at. Now I'm getting to the gods of witchcraft, the gods of Wicca, the
Mm.
gods of voodoo.
Right.
Uh, all of these, uh, all of them got gods. These are all of your gods that run Mercury, that run Earth, that that run Mars, the god of this and the god of that. This is another god of Jupiter. Uh, the god of I can't really see that. Okay, the God of Earth, Jesus. They got so many gods of earth. If Jesus thought he's gonna if Jesus thought that they's gonna let him have earth by himself, he had another thing coming. Yeah, he had another thing. You got about 20 or 40 of them that I can list. That'll be in my book. And then you got the god of uranium. I mean, it's crazy, man. And,
Right.
and
Right.
you can see how they copycat each other.
Hmm.
I got a list of all these gods that's supposed to be the god of this and the god of that. Then you got the god of the forest. Then you got the god of the mountains, god of animals. Uh, it's crazy. Um, I just want to show them in this book that it's all copycats.
Mm.
Then I show you that angels really don't have wings. How did they get here? Then I show you where they got flying saucers and uh, 1,000 years before Jesus even exists, 2,000 years, and they all on the internet. You can see these flying machines on how they
Mm.
got around, and here's some more on how these people got around, and then the stargates. All of these are stargates, and I got a list of the 12 most prominent places where they unearthed some of these stargates
Well, I'm
and
glad. I'm
how.
glad you. I'm glad you brought that up about the Stargates. But for the people that's not familiar with Stargates, can you please tell us what is a Stargate?
A stargate is where you dial. They got them all over the universe. They even got them in the oceans and the seas here on Earth,
Right.
in the Shasta Mountains. Uh, they got some they found in Paris, Africa, China. And these are actually dial out like CERN that they have over there in Switzerland. 17,000, excuse me, 17 miles long, this machine that can open up what they call portholes or wormholes.
Mm.
That's
Mm.
what a Stargate is. It opens up wormholes and portholes as you dial them to these particular latitudes and longitudes and stuff like that. And just watch Stargate ST1 on TV. They showing you what they're doing. People
Mm.
see it as entertainment. You see what I'm saying? Uh,
Right. Right.
but that's basically what a Stargate do.
Well, so what is their purpose of dialing in or wanting to go to these different dimensions or different latitudes of
Exploring
this?
different exploring different parts of the universe and different
Mm.
galaxies. They got stargates that'll take you to Mars. They got
Mm.
stargates that'll take you to Venus. They got a
Mm.
stargate on Venus. They got a stargate on Uranus. They got a stargate on Mars. They ain't got to fly there. They just walk through.
Mm.
Yeah, that's technology, bro. I said they technology is millions of years beyond
Right.
these
Right.
children that we call human beings down here because they're
Almost sound
children.
like almost sound like a Star Trek or Beam Me Up Scotty, you know what I'm saying? Type
Hey,
thing.
exactly. And
Right, right.
it's like they were showing you cell phones
Mm-hmm.
in the
Most definitely.
50s and the 60s.
Right.
And
Right.
they were walking around with cell phones, but people just thought it was a device. Well, he's Captain Kirk beamed me up, Scotty. That's a fucking cell phone, bro. A
Mm.
flip flop. Yeah,
Mm.
one of the first ones they came out with.
Wow.
Um, Technology is deep. They found out how they was beaming up all this gold. How you think they got it up on ships?
Mm.
They One of the motherships came down and just light,
Right.
sound.
Mm.
It's a technology that we don't even understand. They
Right.
even in 19 they've been working on this project since the 30s. In 1986, they just found out how to turn light into matter.
Mm.
Yeah. You can look it up. It's on the internet. The
Wow.
scientists found out how to turn light into matter. How to make light hard to where that you can take a construction and use blueprints as light and they can turn it into solid matter.
Wow.
Yeah, that's some deep shit.
Yeah, that's deep. That's
Yeah,
deep. That's deep,
yeah.
deep right here.
And but
Wow.
but but the technology goes on and on and on. I might sound crazy. See,
Nah,
that's
you
why
don't
they
sound
went over
crazy.
there with the deal with Saddam Hussein. He had
Right.
a Stargate. I don't know if it's operational or not, but that's what they went over there to get, the Bush and
Mm.
Cheney. They didn't go over there. They killed that man for technology.
Mm.
That's his Stargate that he found. Here's
Wow.
the Chinese Stargate that they building over there.
Mm.
And then you got your 12 sites where they already unearthed some old ones. Yeah, but that's
Right.
China Stargate right there.
Oh wow.
You don't have to. They don't have to believe me. Just go look it
Mm.
up. It's right
Right.
there. Don't look up to see what Nicki Minaj is doing and did Diddy do it and
Right.
Jay
Right.
Z.
Mm-hmm.
The hell with them.
Right.
Learn. Yeah,
Right.
get out of this time warp that they got you in.
Most definitely.
Here's a new. Um,
Mm. Okay.
so
This was
I
this this
breaks
this was
down.
this was the cupbearer that you were saying earlier that became the ruler in
Yeah,
ancient Samaria. Okay.
because his ancestral the descendants from the throne was more potent than Alua.
Mm.
So, but Alua did make him his cupbearer, but of course Anute didn't like that. And he got to going through his ancestral inheritance and stuff, found out, hey, you ain't supposed to be king. I'm supposed to be king. And challenged him to the throne and beat him. And
Wow.
that's when Alua left because of Anute.
Mm.
Here's Enki and NL.
Okay.
It's one of their temples over in uh, Sumerian, or it could be Akkadian. Don't get me to. I think it's Akkadian.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, where they built these temples of worship and stuff like that. Uh, this is some of the pictures. As you see, some of them are blank on how the Anunnakis looked and the clothing that they wore, the type of
Mm.
uniforms. I mean, they look like that's where your Romans and uh, these gladiator looking suits and stuff. They got them all from the Anunnakis, the Sumerians, the Akkadians, and up there through Mesopotamia and all of through there.
Right.
Here's um, some of the Anunnakis. Uh, Basically, what you're looking at is like stargates, different types of constellations and galaxies and stuff like that. A lot of people think that this is supposed to be uh, a DNA strain, how it twines and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the other people that really look deeper into it beg to pardon. They're not talking about DNA here. They're talking about different galaxies and star maps. They looking at a star map, supposedly.
Mm.
I guess it depends on how deep your study go, which one you can observe to see what it is.
What it is, right?
Yeah. Uh, Here's the Garden of Eve. Enki's supposed to have been the snake
Mm.
that awoke in Adam and Eve and told them, "Hey, they ain't gods. Yeah, they just like you." That's what Enki's supposed to told them. That's why it says in the Bible, "Behold, they have become one of us.
Right.
At least they live forever."
Mm.
And that's when NL said, "My my spirit will only be with you for 120 years." That means that he cut the telomeres.
Mm.
Yeah, because they would look how long they live. Abraham, look, 700.
Yeah. Methuselah, nine. What it was 900.
Yeah,
So we can say 900 years.
910,
Right.
something like
Right.
that.
Right.
Enki said, "Hell no. They'll have too much knowledge living that long. Then they'll know we
Right.
ain't gods. So we got to do something about this." And he did. That's where your God gene come in that I showed you earlier.
Yes, sir.
Here's some of the that's Enki, uh, that's NL right there, Enki, and that's Enki playing Jehovah right there sitting on the throne.
Mm.
Yeah, and then I show I had that picture up for my background, the 10 major gods. But it was too big, so it cut some of the heads off and some of the body off. So I had to change background drops.
Right.
But then you got a new. Oh yeah, what I wanted to show you was this here, Brahma right here at the top. Uh, then you have I think it's Veda, and then Shiva. That ain't nobody but Enki, NL, and Anut.
Right.
So those three are the same three right there. Same people.
Mm.
Just put it in another religious form. That's all.
Copycat, like you said.
Copycats. All of this
Right.
stuff is copycats. I
Right.
even I even show you the floods. Uh, I show you how this is uh, uh, Anana sin, uh, one of the sons of NL, with the star and crescent and the background on the wall. That's the question: could this be Allah?
Mm.
Because yeah, yeah. And so when
Especially
you
because you
study
got the star
this,
and crescent.
huh?
It's right, because you say you be dealing with the star and crescent, so it's the
Well,
same,
that's their sign.
symbols.
It,
Yeah, same
yeah,
symbols. Right. Right. Right.
all of them had their own symbols.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. Yeah, NL supposedly had the cross.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Star and Crescent was belonged to his son.
Mm.
Um, so I go through this book. I wish I would have had the right one up. I could have took my time really, but like I say, I know my book, so I kind of know when I see something, I know where I'm at in the book
Right.
because I done read
Yes.
it over 20 times and then edited it over 25.
Mm.
So yeah, so I got a lot of
That's some research.
know how, huh?
Right. I said that's some good research right there.
Yeah, and so
Hmm.
here's some of their signs right here. It's not all of them. Some of the signs that they use. You see that Buick, Chevrolet, Cadillac. I mean, all of them use these signs, whether they take little pieces out of it and make an emblem, you know what I'm saying, to put it on front of the
Right.
car, but it's all from Sumerian, Mesopotamia, man.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Ain't
wild right
nothing,
there.
ain't nothing new under the sun, bro.
Yes,
And
sir.
here's some more. Here's some more of their signs, as you can see. There's the Star of Bethlehem right there. You're looking at it.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's the Star of Bethlehem. That's an Anunnaki sign. Yeah.
Wow.
Here's some more of their signs. You could take these signs. You can even see the flower of life in some of their signs that they took.
Mm.
Yeah. These are all your Anunnaki signs that
The
you
top one,
see.
the top ones almost look like hieroglyphics a little bit, like the Metanetza. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. See, this
Hmm.
is what I'm saying. So When you start, man, really understanding, man, and you start doing your research, a lot of thoughts will come to you. A lot of information will be downloaded. Of
Right.
course, you download information from the universe, from the Akashic records, and this is what's going on in my mind when I start doing all these researches. It's almost like somebody's talking to me,
Mm.
and they'll tell me where I'm at, and it's a hell of a thing, man, when you really get your study in, bro. Uh, Again, we come into some of um, the gods of the animals. This is about where we're at now. I kind of jumped the gun on it. That's
Mm-hmm.
one of the gods of voodoo. He
Mm.
created the universe with 7,000 coils and all kind of stuff, bro.
So
It's
who was
it's
this? What?
crazy.
Who was this? What's his name? Who's this?
Damana or something like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can't see it because
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of blurry, and I got the like I say, I got the wrong book up.
Okay.
It's about 25 books that I have edited and just did different stuff with it, called the creation of the creator,
Right.
and
Right.
how he was created and stuff like that. He's created. He's earthborn. We created
Right.
God down here.
Right. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
that's how. Yeah, through the Anunnakis, from their DNA, and I like to call it distortions
Mm.
on what they did to us and the information they fed us, along with the powers that be, uh, which is your human and flesh. They ain't damn spirits. Principalities. I told you, principality means a prince that's the head of a state.
Right.
the, the Bible took principality and put it in Ecclesiastic and put it in Rome and said that it's spooks, ghosts, spirits,
Mm.
but it
Mm-hmm.
ain't. That ain't what it means. So look it up.
Yes, sir.
I, don't believe me. Look it up. Uh, yeah, Egyptian gods and goddesses. I breaks down and show you pictures of them.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so yeah, like I said, this is the wrong book, man. This is the Northern's gods. I got pictures on how they look. Half of them is butt naked, laying down with each other. These are gods, butt naked around each other. That gay shit, just like that Roman shit, that Greek shit.
Right. Right.
A
Right.
16, 14-year old is the best sex you ever had of a boy.
Mm.
A
Mm.
14-year-old boy, a grown ass 30-some-year-old man said that's the best sex he ever had.
Horrible.
How sick is that?
Horrible. Right.
Yeah. So here's some more gods. These are your Roman gods. They laying around butt naked almost around each other. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? These Romans, and it was NL that started that. Uh he had went to the council and said, well, what about the men's at war and they're not around their wives and they're gone for 18 months, 2 years? He said they're going to want to have sex. And so the council okayed that they can have sex with men. And
Wow.
the Romans used to rape the soldiers that they defeated and stick them in the butt. They were booty
Mm.
bandits, bro. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh
Wow.
yeah. It's deep shit, bro.
Yeah.
All this shit come from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
These are some of the Aztec gods.
Mm.
I did a few of them, and then I did some. I did the Aztecs gods, and it's coming up here. You see how some of these the Celtic gods. I did them. The pictures are not popping up, man. Uh, Japanese gods. I did them. Show you pictures of them. They all with big bellies, look like Buddha. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, how can you be a god and be out of shape? I don't get that one. And
Mm-mm.
here's your Maya gods. I just did a few. I got about 4 pictures of how they gods look, but these were distorted pictures because the Mayas and the Aztecs, they wasn't Aztecs, they wasn't number black people. That's
Correct.
it.
Correct.
They were black people, but they want
Mm.
to paint them green and shit like that just to throw
Right.
you off. Yeah, they don't want
Yes.
you to know the truth.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Uh, Here's some more Chinese gods. That's how they looked. Um, we're getting close to the end of this particular book. That's Marduk. And I think
Mm.
right here, he's chasing one of the dragon females because remember, NL had uh, a dragon female up under Nevada, but they
Mm.
supposed like Rod Hayes said that they beheaded her.
Oh wow.
Uh, yeah, she had been under there, man, for hundreds of years, bro. Uh, and then they
Actually,
find her.
a dragon lady.
Yeah,
Oh
uh,
wow.
yeah, a female dragon. Uh,
Mm.
they don't look like the dragons they show you on TV. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Uh, Brother Rod Hayes got a tape on it with brother Richey on Black Magic 363.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Um, I forget the name of that particular show, but Rod Hayes is on there about 7, 8 times because you kind of run through those videos, maybe more, and you'll hear him break down about the Dragon Lady up under Nevada.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, the church.
The church. Right.
Yeah. So it's actually going on 400 pages. You see, it just stopped me at
Mm-hmm.
197.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely the wrong book. The one that I got up here in the corner, the files that we did, JR's files, that's like 350, and all the pictures are up there
Okay.
from the beginning to the end. Uh, I do show a lot of information in this particular book,
Mm-hmm.
and
Well, I
it's
mean, maybe
something.
when you come back and join us on our next episode, I think you can have that up for us and show us a little more of that because we we gonna finish this thing on out strong. You know what I'm saying? You said you was gonna give me five, so I'm gonna push for the five. I want it all. You know what
That's
I'm
right. Well,
saying?
I'm gonna have the right contents ready for
Right.
for the next show. By
Hmm.
no means we're gonna come up short
Right.
on
And
this.
listen, and on this show, you did not come up short at all. I mean, we came up with shit. We coming back with change in our hand. We ain't coming up short at all because you gave us
Exactly.
plenty game. I mean, I hope everybody got their pens and pads going through this because class was in session. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I want everybody to take notes and, like Mr. Johnny always say, study to find yourself approved. You know what I'm saying? You got to get out there and do the research. You know what I'm saying? Just don't take what we say or what you hear on this show. Do your own research and your own backing and find out what's really good behind what you really think you know. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And that's
Mm-hmm.
some that is so important, man. That we have to get out of uh that DNA stagnation that
Right,
they taught us 300 and 400 years ago, killing our ancestors and stuff. All
right,
of that has a lot to do with who we are today because on a spiritual level, we can go through the same thing that our ancestors went through 400 years ago, that fear, that belief in this white Jesus, all of the lies that they told our ancestors, man, it's in our DNA. It's just like if your father have a bad liver and your mother have a bad heart, you can come up with a bad liver and a bad heart. Same with
right,
psychological conditions. If you have a mental condition, that can be handed down to your kids too.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had a spiritual deadlock that was put on us. They took us out of the spiritual realm and put us in the physical realm called religion.
Right. Right.
And that realm called religion is the change that they had on us when they were selling us on the blocks. It's the same thing.
Mm.
We're not free. And to be free is to study and show yourself approved. We have
Right.
to free ourselves from all of these lies and these distortions of truth, man. Uh, they got us on a path of time that actually, man, you talking about 300 or 400 years ago, they got us stuck in that time lock. How they treated
Right.
the slaves, what they told the slaves, and it's in our DNA. We're gonna do one on epigenetics
Mm-hmm.
and how to break that spell, uh, a Levitican. That's what Dr. Malachi Yard tell us. The spell
Right.
of Levitican, the spell of this beast that he put on us, bro. We got to break that.
Mm-hmm.
People got to get out of it and quit speaking on religion and start speaking on spirituality because
Right.
we're spiritual people. We're not religious people.
Right. Right.
We're not superstitious people. Yeah. So,
I heard Dr. James Small say one time, we are divine spiritual beings, um, uh, uh, living a divine human existence. But first, we are spiritual beings.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah. They turned us, bro, into monsters, bro. I
Mm.
mean, and then they want to know what's wrong with our people and why
Right.
our people is so violent toward one another because that's all they knew on the plantation was violence, violence
Mm.
against them, and they had us fighting one another. They had the light skinned sister against the dark skinned sister. They had the dark skinned brother against the light skinned brother.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
they had the house Negro against the field Negro. They kept confusion. They kept violence, and violence is epigenetically embedded in our DNA.
It is.
It's there, and we have to implement our spirituality so that we can come up out of that distortion that was placed on our ancestors that was handed down to us.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. Hey, with that being said, we appreciate you, Mr. Johnny. We definitely looking forward to you for the next episode. Whenever I can catch you, I know you're a busy man. I know you got a lot of things to do. I know you got some things you're doing with your book these next couple of weeks, some big things. But definitely, we're gonna look forward to seeing you again, and we would love for you to come back and join us and chop it up with us on this next on that next episode of the creation of the creator and give us a little more game about what's going on out here. You know what I'm saying? But definitely, man,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna let you go on and get the last word before we go on to sign on out.
And I just wanted you to know, bro, it was my pleasure being on Under the City Lights with Eddie Dynamite. This was a dynamite talk today. I'm just so happy that I was able to share some of the things that I've learned from the past with my brothers and sisters, and I've done a lot of study. And I mean, the more you know, the more it is to know. And I just have to say, I really don't know nothing, but I'm glad to share nothing with y'all. As far as on my book, The Creation of the Creator, what I've learned and what I have studied. Uh, like I said, I've been a Muslim, a Christian, a Jehovah Witness. I even tried the ringing the bells, the Chinese thing. I was just searching, and I
Mhm.
finally said, "Ain't none of this working." And then I had to ask, "Who am I?" And then I
Right.
started following Dr. Malachi Yark, and he the one took me on the other side of metaphysics to show me that who these Anunnakis was, where all this confusion came from. Because man, I was confused, bro. And now I know, and I just want the audience to know. Yeah,
Yes,
I
sir.
want everybody to know that same thing that Dr. Malachi Yard, that all of our brothers are doing, that's trying to teach Reverend Valentine, Bobby Hemmett, and all of these beautiful brothers who's out here, Rod Hayes. They took
Right.
my brother Jamal to jail. And these brothers here is trying to wake you up. They want to call us cults. They want to call us everything but brothers of truth.
That's right. That's right. Right.
So I'm not gonna hold y'all, but I appreciate you listening, lending that ear, and I hope that some of the things that I've said tonight could touch you, that you can go and look up for yourself, study and show your own self approved,
Yes, sir.
because
Yes,
you are
sir.
God and you are the goddess.
Yes, sir. Hey, and once
Mm.
again, we appreciate you, Mr. Johnny. You have a good evening. We're gonna catch you on the next one. Everybody, thank you for joining us with Underneath the City Lights with Eddie Dynamite. Hey, catch you on the next episode. Peace out.
Peace out. Thank you. Okay.